When I was a kid, Iran was the first country that I'd ever heard of outside of America. Before that, I just assumed everyone lived in the United States. It sounded more like a sentence than a country. Iran, potato, right? Well, tell that to the kid who pronounces Uruguay like you are gay or says Niger like it's spelled. Anyway, so when the Iranian students stormed the gates of the U.S. Embassy in 1979, holding the diplomatic staff hostage for over a year, an enemy image of the Ayatollah Khomeini was seared, thanks to the media, into the West's collective consciousness. Iran was depicted as just another crazy Arab country in the Middle East out to destroy the American way of life. With Islamic fascism, weapons of mass destruction, and Big Brother-style posters of Khomeini everywhere, they were perfect for demonizing, for rallying the troops. Getting added to Bush's Axis of Evil roster and being portrayed as the bad guys in the homoerotic masterpiece 300 only added myth upon myth's conception. So going to Iran, my expectations were pretty high. I expected to come face to face with fanatical Arab terrorists, witness evil incarnate, and maybe even chat with Ahmadinejad while touring the uranium enrichment facilities. Boy, was I disappointed. First of all, they don't even speak Arabic in Iran. They speak Farsi, and they are definitely not Arabs. The Persians see the Arabs as uncivilized, uncultured people, like the Beverly Hillbillies, nouveau rich with plenty of cash but no taste or civilization. I didn't see or meet any terrorists there either, although I did hear from our tour guide that the predominantly gay city of Kashan, Iran, has actually captured Osama bin Laden, and they don't even want the $20 million reward on his head. They just want to trade him fair and square for Leonardo DiCaprio. Persepolis was the capital of the empire founded by King Darius the Great in 518 BC. This is where his successor, Xerxes, launched his doomed invasion of Greece to fight the scantily clad Spartans of 300 fame. Alexander the Great felt so threatened by its manly magnificence that he destroyed the city in 331 BC. When the Arabs invaded, they defaced the griffins at Persepolis for the same reason the Taliban blew up the giant statues of Buddha in Afghanistan. The only reason that the nearby tomb of Cyrus the Great remained standing is because the wily Persians told the Muslim invaders that his tomb was actually that of the mother of Solomon, a figure as sacred to Islam as it is to Judaism and Christianity. Can you imagine trying to convince the Taliban of the same thing with the Buddhist monuments in Afghanistan? Guys, I know it looks bad. Some people are saying that that's Buddha right there. Nope. Actually, that's Abraham's cousin. See how he's holding his enormous stone hands together? He's praying to Allah. Buddha? Where do people get this stuff? Man. Good thing they didn't have any dynamite in the 7th century, because otherwise they would have blown up the magnificent tombs of Darius and Xerxes at Nakshi Rostam, Iran's mini Petra.
No.
Abyan is an ancient red mud village recognized by UNESCO for its Zoroastrian fire temples, its Middle Persian dialect, unintelligible to most Iranians, and its grumpy old men who chew out the day's problems when the sun peeks out from behind the Zagros Mountains. An interesting layover on your way to the uranium enrichment facilities, for sure. In the 17th century, the French poet Rainier described Esfehan as half the world. He doesn't say where the other half of the world was, but I'm going to go with France. I liked Esfehan too. I guess I'm a sucker for fairy tale bridges, architectural jewels of the Safavid Empire. They don't call him Shah Abbas the Great for nothing. Atmospheric bazaars and cozy tea houses. Did I mention the disco elevator and flirtatious co-eds? Turns out the French recognize a fine city when they see it.
Okay, so this is the famous singing and dancing. Do you hear it? It's the only place you can dance in Esfehan that I know. And then by the time you reach your floor, that's it. That's all sugar.
At Imam Square in Esfehan, I learned what foreshadowed the toppling of our man in Iran, the Shah. Apparently the king had become a bit of a lushy bourgeoisie and a wee too free with the wealth of the nation. I won't even mention how much he spent on his late 70s Persepolis party. So this didn't bode well or kindly with the rowdy proletariat of the time. As Sukarno erected monuments to his vanity in Indonesia and his people suffered, so did the Shah of Iran make his people suffer from his conceit. There is, in fact, a still ginormous apartment complex in Tehran that spells out, "We love our king," when seen from high above. The rest of his bizarre, self-aggrandizing architectural tributes were demolished by the Ayatollah Khomeini when he founded the Islamic Republic of Iran. The Persians found out what an Islamic Republic means the hard way when hundreds of thousands of Khomeini supporters disappeared after the Ayatollah came to power. Islamic Republic is an oxymoron. You can either be a republic or an Islamic state, but you can't be both. So in the Gulf countries, you have a liberal government thanks to a host of benign dictators and a conservative population. In Iran, on the other hand, you have just the opposite, an ultra-conservative government and a liberal constituency. From that liberal constituency came the memoir Reading Lolita in Tehran, in which the author mentions the Caspian Sea as a fave haunt of star-crossed lovers and political exiles. Being the hopeless romantic I am, and having read the book while living in India, I couldn't resist the temptation for some first-hand fact-checking, and where else are you going to spend your 37th birthday if you happen to find yourself in Iran, right? What shocked me most were the couples, openly courting everywhere, in cars, in restaurants, on the Alborz Mountains, and on the Caspian Sea coast. Couples everywhere, on double, triple, and quadruple dates even. And most of the ladies I spoke to said they preferred not to wear the scarf or chador if given the chance. So despite all the saber rattling from Tehran and the economic sanctions, heavy-handed rhetoric, and Hollywood propaganda from the West, I owe George Bush and Ahmadinejad a debt of gratitude. If not for those two, and W's infamous Axis of Evil speech, my childhood imprint of Iran as just another crazy Arab country in the Middle East out to destroy the American way of life might have held its roots in my consciousness forever.